I'm confident for this fight. I don't want to talk of the after the fight. I'm confident for this fight. I want this belt, and I do my best during the camp for that. But everybody knows my strength already. I can move very well. I can manage the distance very well. My striking is a high-level striking, and so I'm gonna manage this. I do this for me. Like the target is the belt.
Actually, why I'm actually a big fan of like Tom Aspinall as well.
Oh yeah.
You don't really see that anywhere, full stop, but definitely not in the heavyweight division.
No heavyweight moves like him.
No one moves like him.
He moves like a 185er.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
With that kind of explosive and that power, it's crazy.
Crazy speed for a heavyweight.
What if Ciryl Gane wins? And then John's like, I'm back. I already was in the testing pool. I was in the testing pool before he won. Give me a title shot. Would that not be the most ultimate move of all time? That would be hilarious.
That would be devious.
That shit would be hilarious.
It would be funny.
That shit would be hilarious.
He's gonna get hated on for that.
Don't care.
But it's gonna
he
be
would
funny
make
as
$10
hell.
million to become the heavyweight champion
Over a guy he just took down relatively. My man came out, he threw a couple of strikes, he said, nah, we wrestling.
UFC 321 is inching closer as Ciryl Gane and Tom Aspinall are all set to clash for the heavyweight title at UFC 321. Ciryl Gane is very confident to snatch the belt from Aspinall and has warned the champ that he will come hard against him on October 25th. Ciryl Gane is focused entirely on his training and preparation, leaving distractions behind. He expressed confidence in his upcoming fight, emphasizing his goal of winning the belt and highlighting his movement, distance management, and high-level striking. Gane said he is concentrating on his family, friends, team, and objectives rather than social media or outside opinions.
I'm confident for this fight. I don't want to talk of the after the fight. I'm confident for this fight. I want this belt, and I do my best during the camp for that. But everybody knows my strength already. I can move very well. I can manage the distance very well. My striking is a high-level striking, and so I'm gonna manage this. I do this for me. Like the target is the belt, and I'm not focused on the social media, the people outside. I'm really focused on my family, my friend, my team, my goal, my target, and training. This is a different mindset.
On the other hand, Tom Aspinall expressed relief at finally securing his fight with Ciryl Gane after multiple postponements, noting this is the fourth time the matchup has been scheduled. With the bout set for October 25th in Abu Dhabi, he said his goal is to prevent Gane from winning the title once and for all.
Finally, we're back after over a year hiatus. Ciryl finally signed on the dotted line. This is the fourth time we've been matched up together, and now we are matched up for the 25th of October, Abu Dhabi. Me and Ciryl, the fourth attempt is here, and this is Cyryl's third title shot. We are going to try and get rid of Ciryl Gane from the title picture for good.
Tom Aspinall recognizes the intensity around his fight with Ciryl Gane, but notes that the pressure isn't solely on him. He highlights that Gane has missed 2 previous title opportunities, raising the stakes for both fighters. Aspinall explains that neither wants to falter in the spotlight, meaning both enter the bout carrying a heavy burden.
There's pressure on you every fight you have. Are you feeling pressure for this one?
Mate, absolutely. Absolutely, but there's certain types of athletes, there's certain types of people, not just athletes. There's those that pressure wears them down, and there's those who shine under pressure, and I am 100% part of the latter. But that being said, it's not just me who's under pressure. It's his third title shot, mate, and he failed the first 2. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of pressure on me, but there's also a lot of pressure on him. There's pressure on both of us. Every fight you go into, there's pressure. I can't speak for the rest of the fighters, but mate, I don't want to get kicked in front of millions of people. That's the biggest pressure in me. I don't want to get battered in front of millions of people. No way about it. So to me, that's the biggest pressure. Titles, all rankings, statistics, all that aside, I don't want to get beat up in front of millions of people, so there's always pressure.
On the other hand, Alex Pereira is eyeing to make a move to the heavyweight division, and there is a lot of confusion now as Poatan wants to fight Jon Jones. In a recent interview, Jon Jones also clarified that he is not retired, continuing to train 5 days a week and remaining active in the UFC's drug testing pool. He said he is preparing for the UFC's planned White House event and will be ready if called, while emphasizing that the final decision rests with Dana White.
First and foremost, are you retired?
I am not retired. I'm actively training 5 days a week, and I'm in the UFC's drug testing pool.
Great. And what's the status of the fight at the White House?
I don't really know. It's kind of out of my control right now. I'm training for the event. I'll be ready for the event. That's my goal. That's my intention. But ultimately, it's up to the boss.
Jon Jones is determined to secure a spot at the UFC White House event, training hard and staying in peak condition. He wants to show Dana White that he is serious about the opportunity, though he knows the final decision isn't his. Jones also highlights his work on the UFC's new media projects as proof of his commitment, believing it could improve his chances of being featured on the card.
I feel freaking tremendous. I'm training constantly. The brand's in a great place. We're doing really cool things, cool people like yourself, and I'm just happy to be here.
Are you going to be a part of this White House card?
I don't know. I'm definitely training constantly for the opportunity. My goal is to just show Dana how serious I am about being in the event, and I hope he chooses me. But ultimately, it's in his hands. He's the boss.
It's got to be a good sign that you're here, though. Like with CBS and Paramount Plus and this big UFC deal, I feel like if you weren't in everyone's good graces right now, I probably wouldn't be talking to you, right?
Exactly. It's a great sign that I'm not only here, but a part of the production and part of the show.
However, Dana White ruled out putting Jon Jones on the White House card, citing the risks involved rather than Jones's championship status. He explained that he couldn't risk giving Jones such a high-profile spot and having something go wrong at such an important event.
It's not even about him winning the belt. You know, about him. I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong, especially the White House card.
Dana White also weighed in on Alex Pereira's plans to move to heavyweight, noting that jumping 2 weight classes in the UFC is a bigger challenge than in boxing. He pointed out that the light heavyweight division still has exciting matchups and questioned why Pereira would move up unless he is considering retirement.
What is your hesitation about him going up to heavyweight? He's mentioned it a few times in the past. He always wanted that Jon Jones fight, and I understand why maybe that fight wasn't appealing to you, but what is your reservations about sending him to heavyweight at this point?
Probably that he was a middleweight. He was a middleweight, and he's going to jump up 2 weight classes in the UFC. It's not like jumping up 2 weight classes in boxing. It's a big jump.
And as far as Yuri's performance,
and it's not that I have any reservations about it. I mean, the guy is he's in a division that there's still some interesting fights. I don't know. It's just I like the guy so much. We'll see. We'll have to talk about it. I just don't see why, unless he wants to retire, why throwing him in at heavyweight makes any sense. Other than I just end up saying he wants to do it so bad, I'll just say yes. I don't know.
Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen urges Jon Jones to target Alex Pereira's light heavyweight title instead of remaining at heavyweight. He believes Jones could push for the fight at 205 pounds, turning their potential bout into a championship clash and making the matchup far more significant in the eyes of fans.
Let me give you the hot take of the day. If I'm in Jon Jones's shoes and I hear this and I feel this buzz and there's this huge fight and it has all of a sudden got my interest, but there's no title on the line, I can fix that real fast. I can say I will fight you and I'll even find a world title because it's going to be yours. I'll see it 205 pounds. And if Jon Jones does that, my partner, we're having a very different conversation.
Oh, chill. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
However, Henry Cejudo proposed a Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira BMF fight, suggesting it could even headline a White House event. He noted that while Jones might avoid Tom Aspinall facing Pereira, now an even bigger name after his win, would be a major spectacle. Cejudo added that it could serve as the final fight for both, making it a historic showdown.
I think what's next for Merab is the winner of Umar Nurmagomedov and Mario Bautista. I think because of that close fight that he did have with Umar, I mean I feel like it's well deserved, especially if he gets through a guy like Mario Bautista. And that, bro, the winner of this fight, Merab beats the winner out of this fight of Mario and Bautista. I think he should go up to 145 pounds. And you know what? Call me crazy, Kush, but I do feel that if he does go up to 145 pounds, I think he could beat Alexander Volkanovski. I really do, man. If he's been able to do that to the majority of all of us, bro, imagine him feeling even better up a weight division. He could bring some problems to Volkanovski or anybody at 145 pounds, dude.
Michael Bisping also reacted to Alex Pereira's plan to fight Jon Jones at the White House. He explained that Pereira told Dana White he wants to move to heavyweight, not just to face the winner of Ciryl Gane versus Tom Aspinall, but to pursue a high-profile showdown with Jon Jones, who is widely regarded as one of the greatest of all time.
what's next. Now, of course, he wants to go to heavyweight. Dana White said that he saw him at the Performance Institute on Friday. He told Dana face to face he wants to go to heavyweight, and you would assume that by going to heavyweight, he would mean wanting the winner of Ciryl Gane versus Tom Aspinall, which goes down in just a couple of weeks. But that's not what he wants. He wants to take on Jon Jones at the White House, the greatest of all time, depending on who you ask, of course. We're not getting into that whole debate, but that's what Pereira wants.
Michael Bisping said Alex Pereira deserves exciting opportunities because of his comeback, thrilling performances, and strong fan support. He noted that while fighters like Gigi Prochaska and Carlos Ulberg are possible opponents, Pereira has already beaten Prochaska twice, and a fight with Ulberg would likely favor Pereira due to his striking. Bisping concluded that the most entertaining matchup would be a high-profile showdown with Jon Jones, even at the White House.
Now, I will say this. The man should be afforded some wild opportunities. What he did, the way he came back, the way he thrills audiences, the knockouts that he's had, the career that he's had, the impact that he's made on this sport, and the fan base that will once again be behind him is immense, okay? So I say give the man some fun fights. Yes, of course, there is Carlos Ulberg out there, and there is Jiří Procházka. Jiří, I could not be a bigger fan of that guy. I love that guy, but he's been beaten by Alex twice. I hate to say it, I don't think the outcome would be much different. Carlos Ulberg, yeah, sure. Make him fight Carlos Ulberg, probably beat Carlos Ulberg, because it'll be a kickboxing match. Ulberg's not going to shoot a double leg takedown. He's not all of a sudden going to turn into a Dagestani wrestler that he just beat, by the way, in 1 minute, 20 seconds. He would probably beat Carlos Ulberg as well. So what do you do with him? Well, you give him something fun.
Michael Bisping further discussed the possibility of Alex Pereira fighting Jon Jones, calling it a huge matchup. However, he said he would personally prefer to see Pereira face Tom Aspinall or Ciryl Gane, most likely Aspinall. Bisping emphasized that a win would make Pereira a 3-division UFC champion, an unprecedented achievement that would firmly establish him as one of the greatest fighters in UFC history.
Jones versus Pereira, okay? I mean, that's a huge fight. That's a big fight that a lot of people would want to see. But what would you rather see? But the fight that I would rather see is Alex Pereira going up against Tom Aspinall or Ciryl Gane. More than likely, Tom Aspinall, let's be honest, he's probably going to win against Ciryl. Alex Pereira has the opportunity to become a 3-weight division champion, something that no one's ever done. That's never happened. We've had many double champs. We've had several simultaneous double champs, but no one has gone through 3 different weight classes and became the champion. There will be no doubt that Alex Pereira would be the greatest undisputed fighter that ever competed in the UFC, because you can't argue with the fact that he was the champion in 3 different weight classes. And if he was to do that, that would be ridiculous.
Ariel Helwani believes that if Alex Pereira beats Jon Jones and then Tom Aspinall, the conversation about the GOAT becomes highly compelling. He noted that Pereira is on the verge of making true history in MMA.
Right, if he fights Jon Jones and beats him,
yeah,
and then goes and fights Tom and beats him, you have to start talking about him being the greatest ever.
He's the GOAT if he does that.
Period. There's like no discussion anymore.
No, there's no convo if he does that.
So it's right
Can you
there.
imagine?
He's got a 2-fight plan, and by the way, the money, I can't imagine what it's going to be. This guy was a few Magomed takedowns away on Saturday from like now us talking about him fighting Mingyang Zhang next. You know what I mean? And now he has set himself up for 2 fights in 2026, potentially June and December, where he's on the verge of legit history.
On the other hand, Tom Aspinall joked that if he faced Alex Pereira at heavyweight, he would sprint across the octagon like a rugby player and attempt an immediate takedown. He described his signature move, a full-speed spear he practiced against Aloski, but admitted it's risky as he almost injures himself performing it. Aspinall said he reserves this explosive technique for high-stakes moments.
Well, the bell would go, and I'd run across, full blast, and rugby tackling is what I'd do.
Go straight for the takedown?
First 10 seconds of the fight, yeah. Well, I've got one very reliable takedown that I do. If you watch my fight with Arlovsky, did it there.
Spear.
The spear, yeah. It's undefeated in training. The problem is when you do it, you nearly knock yourself out. So I don't do it that much because you just run into a full blast with your head. So I save that for rare moments. But that's the exact takedown I do. Full blast, mate. 40-yard dash straight across. Head in the middle. full-on spear, yeah.
Meanwhile, Alex Pereira shared his thoughts on the Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane fight, noting that Gane's constant movement distinguishes him from the opponents Aspinall has faced. He believes this style could disrupt Aspinall's rhythm in the early rounds, presenting a unique challenge compared to his previous aggressive foes.
What do you think about like Aspinall and Ciryl Gane? Like who do you think he will win? And is the winner something that interests him?
Cara, ali é uma luta assim difícil, né? Mas o Tom Aspinall, campeão, vem mais confiante. Mas assim, eu vejo que ele lutou com atletas também assim, muito agressivo, entendeu? E ele tá levando a melhor ali, mas acho que o Ciryl Gane ele é um cara assim mais, que movimenta mais. É um cara que não gosta de se expor, entendeu? Um pouco ali de medo e tal. Então, quando você tem um certo medo, um receio, você acaba não tomando muitos golpes. Então, a gente vai ver. Vamos ver, porque de repente ele pode frustrar um pouco, né? O Tom Aspinall ali, de passa ali primeiro, segundo, terceiro round e vai levando pro final. A gente não sabe como que ele vai se comportar também.
It's a tough fight, you know. Tom is a complete fighter. But I do feel like he's fought a lot of aggressive guys. And I think Gane is a guy who's going to do a lot of movement. He's going to be a little more cautious and you know, just moving around a lot and might frustrate Tom. You know, so first, second, third round, maybe Tom can't find Ciryl Gane. So I think it's going to be a different fight. We'll see.
Daniel Cormier also discussed the Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane fight, noting that it is finally happening after a long wait. He explained that while many view it as a one-sided matchup, he disagrees, believing the fight is much closer than the odds suggest, especially in Aspinall's favor.
We finally got Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Chill, we've been screaming about this Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane for a long time. UFC 321, Tom minus 325, Gane plus 260. We finally got the fight. But the world doesn't seem to believe, Chael, that it's a close fight. And I don't really agree with that line. I think this fight is much closer. Tom Aspinall minus 325, Ciryl Gane plus 265.
Ian Gary predicts that the Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane fight could end in the first round. He praised Aspinall as an exceptional fighter, calling him one of the best heavyweights in UFC history. Gary added that while a quick title win might seem less memorable, what truly matters is that Aspinall becomes champion and establishes himself as the top fighter in the division.
I don't see that fight getting out of the first round. Right. I think Tom is phenomenal. I think he's absolutely the best heavyweight we've ever seen in the UFC. I said to him, it sucks to win the belt that way, to be the champion this way, that no one's going to remember that in 3 fights' time. They're just going to remember what you've done and that you are the champion of the world and you're the best in the division, and that's it.
Benoit Saint-Denis also expressed strong confidence in Ciryl Gane ahead of his fight with Tom Aspinall, predicting that France would soon have its first UFC champion. He noted that he had trained with Gane more this year than ever before, which reinforced his belief in Gane's skills and chances of winning.
How do you think he does against Tom?
To be honest, I think we are gonna finally have our first French UFC champion. I think Ciryl, I've been talking with him. I have been taking more time with him this year than the past years, talking and training and yeah.
Benoit Saint-Denis believes Ciryl Gane demonstrates the discipline of a true champion. He highlights Gane's calm approach in training and his exceptional speed and movement for a heavyweight. Saint-Denis expects a tactical fight, with Gane's patience and experience ultimately helping him overcome Tom Aspinall and secure a victory for France.
I think he's ready, and I think he has this fire inside him of wanting to become champion, working hard since a long time. He's not talking a lot this past month, but he has been doing a real good job, and he has been working hard. And I do believe he's an exceptional athlete, even for the heavyweight division. And on 5 rounds, I do believe he's gonna beat Tom Aspinall, and I cannot wait to see it, because of course it's gonna be tactical and very high level stuff, but I do believe Ciryl can do it, and he will.
Furthermore, MMA journalist Ariel Helwani discussed Tom Aspinall's upcoming title defense against Ciryl Gane, noting that fans have been anticipating the fight for years. He added that Aspinall requested the bout take place in Abu Dhabi due to favorable taxes and its proximity to home, and the UFC approved his request.
Tommy defending his undisputed gold, technically for the very first time, against the pride of France, the French prince himself, Bon Gamin himself, the one and only Ciryl Gane. These two have been going back and forth for the better part of 2, maybe 3 years. Well, this was the fight that we all thought was going to happen in Tom's official first title defense, and so it is in fact going to happen. Tom wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. That was the sense that we got when he became undisputed champion. He didn't want to wait for New York. Let's be honest, the tax is a little better over there in Abu Dhabi compared to New York for an Englishman, for anyone, if we're being 100% honest. And so he wanted to be active. He wanted to fight in October. He wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. It's closer to home.
MMA Guru also expressed excitement about the fight announcement, predicting that Tom Aspinall could stop Ciryl Gane with a first-round knockout. He noted that since Tai Tuivasa was able to floor Gane despite being outmatched, a faster and more precise fighter like Aspinall would likely do it even sooner.
Maybe the UFC is really back. But Aspinall versus Gane, scary matchup. I think Aspinall's going to win by KO in the first round. If Tai Tuivasa can ever drop you on your ass in an MMA fight after you've beaten him up for the whole first round, if he can find a way to find your chin in that second round and drop you at any point in your career, I think Aspinall will find it in the first round, and I do think we'll see a first round Tom Aspinall KO.
MMA Guru warned that a Ciryl Gane victory could surprise fans, particularly longtime Jon Jones supporters who might start backing him. He predicted that Tom Aspinall will win, noting that although Gane is elusive on the feet, his grappling weaknesses make him vulnerable to a fighter like Aspinall.
You know, if Ciryl Gane wins, my life will crumble before my very eyes. You understand this, right? We can't have Ciryl Gane win. There's gonna be a conglomerate of MMA fans that are suspiciously pro Gane here for no reason whatsoever. Okay? Now, these may be considered former Jon Jones fans that now have nowhere to go because Jones retired, that will now pretend to be Ciryl Gane fans and pretend to want Ciryl Gane to win for the good of the sport. I just think he's way better. Tom Aspinall's the correct prediction. It is a very risky matchup. Ciryl Gane is very, very technical. Ciryl Gane is harder to hit than any former opponent of Tom Aspinall. I just think his grappling is a weakness, and he'll be thinking about that in a fight with Tom. And while you're thinking about that, you've also got to think about being knocked out with any punch you get hit with. So it's just a lot for Gane to worry about.
However, Curtis Blaydes thinks Tom Aspinall's grappling could be the deciding factor in their matchup. He notes that Aspinall can take the fight to the ground and control the pace at will. Blaydes believes that if the fight goes beyond the opening round, Aspinall's skills will likely allow him to dominate and secure the victory. That's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about the matchup? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.